In our second chapter of mobile headphones by a company called Naenka, we have their Runners Pro Bone Conduction headphones. If you've never used bone conduction headphones before, it's an interesting experience. The vibration of the driver against the bone where it sits on your head, right near the inner ear, bypasses your eardrum the way that you would normally hear things. And unlike earbuds that sit in your ear canal and inevitably block some degree of sound, even if you'd rather they not, bone conduction headphones leave your ears open. That means a clear perceived sound through the headphones while still being able to hear normally anything that's going on around you. And of course, you can use the included foam earplugs to create an optional noise reduction setting. If you're used to wearing earbuds while you're out running or going for walks, you may have occasionally had issues with them falling out or shifting as you move. That's one major advantage I can see of this design, the way they wrap around your ears. They're far more secure while running, and the manual even mentions IPX68 water resistance that supposedly allows even for swimming while wearing these. That's a pretty significant distinction from your average on-the-go headphones that at best might be able to resist some sweat while you're working out, but that would probably be about it. Let's briefly go over some of the key features of the Naenka Runner Pro before we talk about impressions. First off, they feature the latest high-tech Bluetooth 5.0 low-latency technology with 10 meters of range. They are lightweight, weighing only 33 grams, and they interestingly feature 8 gigabytes of internal storage. More on that in a minute. They have a 230 milliamp hour battery that supposedly supports 6 to 7 hours of playtime. I would say that 5 or 6 hours is pretty fair in my own estimations. It has an on and off button and volume buttons, and that's an important distinction if you're thinking to compare against AirPods and things like that that obviously have no on or off button. It has a magnetic charging cable that terminates in USB, so you can snap it right on and charge on one end to the proprietary 4-pin plug, and the other end is just standard USB, and you can also use this to sync with your computer. It supports WAV, FLAC, APE, MP3, and WMA as the formats that it will read off the internal storage, and 33% less vibration than other bone conduction designs that they say results in 30% less sound leakage. So now let's talk about impressions. The rubberized body has a nice tactile feel. These headphones seem well built. Nothing struck me as fragile, and I think that's important for something that you're going to wear running. Since these are not dependent on forming a good seal in your ear like earbuds are, I noticed a more consistent sound when walking and running with these. The sound is clear in the mid-range, but there doesn't seem to be much low end. This gives the headphones kind of a cold sound. I've read other people talking about the bass feeling powerful on bone conduction headphones, and at first I wondered if maybe this issue was specific to the iPhone that I had paired them to. Maybe something was going on with the Bluetooth that was somehow damping the bass. So I paired them to my Windows PC and my Surface tablet to compare, but I came up with a pretty similar result. My best guess as to what's happening is maybe just the way bone conduction works, vibrating against your skull, low frequencies don't transmit as well through the skin. That would be my best guess. That's really the one weak point of these headphones as far as I'm concerned, but as other reviewers that I've talked about these headphones have mentioned, namely Sean Talks Tech, he mentions that bass and overall sound quality are not generally the focus for those buying bone conduction headphones. It's probably more about the function and the convenience. As far as the storage goes, 8GB isn't likely to store your whole music collection, but it is certainly enough for a good variety of workout tunes, and it's a cool feature to see, especially for rigorous exercise or swimming where having to have your phone nearby could be a challenge. This is a cool way to bypass that. You can toggle between Bluetooth mode and internal storage mode by double pressing the power button. I like that the headphones announce all of the different settings. When you first turn them on, they say power on in a woman's voice. After that, it will also announce whether they're in Bluetooth mode or storage mode, or a pairing mode when you activate that. You can use the included USB charging cable to your computer and transfer music on or off the device. Find that's pretty easy to use, and again, a really cool feature. Even nice on runs as well, where sometimes you might be saying, if I'm wearing gym shorts, where am I going to put my phone while I'm running? The internal storage mode gives you the answer of, don't even bring your phone. All you need is the headphones. What I also really like about the concept of bone conduction headphones is that you can clearly hear music, but you can also clearly hear everything going on around you. Sure, that can be irritating if you're jogging through a noisy area, but I'm sure I speak for a lot of runners when I say that the idea of jogging alone and not being able to hear anything around you is not appealing for safety reasons. Knowing that these don't block your ears, if you're someone that's been a concern for, is a win. They also feature Leakage Reduction 2.0, which they describe as meaning there are no holes on the design, so when the volume is high, less of what you're listening to will be audible to those nearby. The headphone literature claims they have less sound leakage than AirPods. I don't know that I've found that to be the case. Being that AirPods sit in your ears, I've never had someone else nearby me say they could hear what I was listening to on AirPods, but using these headphones, my wife did comment that she could occasionally hear the music when I wore these. It makes sense since the driver is relatively open and vibrating both against your head, but also in the free air. Call quality with these is average. I could hear what the other person was saying pretty clearly, and both listening to a recording I made of a call where I could listen to myself, as well as just asking the others what their thoughts were, overall I would say the call quality of my voice is fair. It's doable, and it's not like I was having issues with them understanding me or that they were asking me to repeat myself a whole lot, but when I listened to the recording of myself talking, background noise did seem more prevalent on these than on some other headphones that I've done calls with. Lastly, I would say the two major crowds I could see these bone conduction headphones appealing to would be, first, athletes and those who exercise regularly to music and they want something that's not going to fall off or be affected by sweat or moisture. The internal storage is a great feature that I've not had before in mobile headphones and potentially solves the problem of carrying your phone with you on a run because you don't need anything but the headphones, like I said a minute ago. And the fact that they hook right around your ears makes them a lot more secure on your head than other styles of mobile headphones. The second major crowd I could see that this appeals to is those experiencing some degree of hearing loss. Bone conduction bypasses the eardrum, and many people report that most causes of hearing loss involve the eardrum, and this method can create clearer, more audible sound than traditional methods of hearing music. All in all, if you find yourself in one of those two crowds, I would say that these headphones would be worth giving a listen on your run, especially if the most important thing to you is they're resistant to water, rain, and sweat, they don't fall off, and they give you a reliable way to go for long runs without worrying that you're running out of power. If I've left anything out or you can think of any questions that you have about these, feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll do the best I can to answer them. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful if you're looking at bone conduction headphones and were kind of wondering what they would be like. Thanks for listening, and thank you, Naenka, for letting me try these headphones.